It's safe to say that everyone has core values that they combine to help them identify who they are as a person. Sometimes these values that they see in themselves differ from the values that other people may see in them. I think that the main goal that people have is to take their internal core values and display those through actions, words, and deeds that help other people to see those in themselves. So I approach this assignment kind of like I would approach an obituary. Honestly, I've written multiple obituaries for other class assignments, which is kind of weird. I think that the question comes down to two simple things: what you want your legacy to be, and how can you fit that on a tombstone. So for the sake of brevity, and for whoever will be paying for my tombstone, I want to leave behind the fact that I imparted 3 core values on the world around me, and those are kindness, knowledge, and relationships. So kindness and knowledge for me kind of came from the same place. I'm from DC, and a huge part of DC is Congress, and the doors to the Congressional Library, they were there for a long time, and then they're actually moved and placed on the high school's doors. But there are 2 figures on them, and one of them represents kindness, and one of them represents knowledge. They're gold and very ornate and very well known. So growing up in DC, Library of Congress was a staple for anyone that came and visited, and then we would show them it. And so growing up, those 2 values were just kind of like always there. They were embedded in me at a young age, and as I became an adult, I took those values in for myself. So I think knowledge is probably my top core value right now. I talked about in class how I believe that your top values can kind of change depending on what you're going through and your experiences and what you really need at the time. I have had the opportunity to travel to many different countries, and I've seen a lot of different standards of living and just living situations in general, and seen what people have money and time and what's important to their culture. I've learned through that experience to feel very blessed that I have had the opportunity for education that I have. I went to a pretty prestigious high school, and we were pushed very hard, and during that period of time I hated it. But now coming into college, I am very, very thankful for that, because it's made my life so much easier and has made college so much easier to manage and balance. And I know and understand now that it's a luxury. And additionally, the internet, the place where we are able to get knowledge from wherever we want on the internet about whatever we want at any time, is also a luxury that most people in the world don't have. So because of this experience, I make sure every day I'm taking opportunities to gain as much knowledge as I can, show up to every class that I can, and make sure that I am gaining and retaining as much information as I can, because I know that that is a blessing that a lot of people will never get the chance to have, and it's made me a much more grateful and worldly person. So my second value that I spoke on a little bit is kindness. Sorry that this is shaking. I propped it up on my bed and it's not going well. So kindness is important to me because I have seen firsthand effects of not being kind, and also not only that, but not taking the initiative to reach out to people around you, which I think is part of kindness. In high school, I had 5 classmates that committed suicide. We talked about earlier how I went to a super competitive high school, and that's true, and that kind of made people feel isolated and alone, and it consumed them, and unfortunately that culture led to the death of many people in my community. So in the 4 years that I was there, like I said, I had 5 classmates commit suicide. Our county is actually the number 2 county in the United States for suicide rates. So with my leadership class, I enacted a day called P.S. I Love You Day, and we went around and we put thousands of sticky notes all over the building that just had cute little inspirational quotes, and that helped students to see their value and have a little laugh, and sometimes that helps more than you know. And so I've used these things that I've learned through these terrible circumstances to make sure that I'm intentional with everything I say and everything I do around people, and I make sure that I reach out to people and take that extra step to ensure that everyone's okay, because it's better to do it now than it to be too late. So I think my internal fear of losing people and not doing enough to help them has made me hyper aware of that. One thing that I've recently done is worked at a summer camp. And that summer camp, while it's focused on fun and learning and all of that good stuff for the kids, it's also an opportunity for us to really talk to the kids individually and make sure that everything in their life is okay. And to a lot of people, working in a summer camp may not be on the top of their list of best things that they've ever done in their life, but for me it was, because it gave me that opportunity to spread kindness and continue to do that by reaching out to my campers. My third core value is relationships, and that comes from a different part of my life. I'm a military kid, which means I moved around my whole life to different cities, states, countries. In addition to me frequently moving around, kids that I was living with would also frequently move around because they were military as well. So very rarely would I meet someone and then they would be in my life for over a year. Especially during the middle school phase of my life when I was living overseas, which is obviously a crucial time to people's personal development. So because of this, I had to put in a lot of extra effort, and with the help of social media and cell phones, it has been a lot easier than it would have been for people before my time. But it taught me how valuable good people are in your life and how it's completely worth the extra time and effort to put into caring about people. So today I use my passion for relationships to make sure that I'm engaging in connecting with new people and reconnecting with old people still, in addition to networking. And networking is really good for my major. I'm a business major. And I really do enjoy growing in my personal and professional networks, and I think it's really fun and allows me to display my other core values, which are kindness and knowledge. I hope that I continue to display these values in everything I do and say, and if I'm still in contact with any of you at the time of my death, make sure my tombstone has them on there.